always said in Black Panther Party that they can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary.
The revolution will be televised and broadcast, posted on social media and podcast. See, y'all might finish slow, but we start fast. Educating the uneducated our task. We in it to win it, fight for the land of independence. To do for self, nationhood, see that's what's intended. It's for the nation, to free the land, don't get offended. Cause we didn't start this war, but I'll be damned if we don't end it. We follow Malcolm, Nkrumah, and Marcus Garvey. Assata Shakur, Queen Mother Boy, don't you even start me. About Imari, Sundiata, that ain't even hardly a fraction of our freedom fighters fighting for the cause. This is the struggle, when I struggle we will never fall. Political prisoners, get them out, we say free them all. Our ancestors flowing through us, you can see them all. It's for the nation, freedom or death, without a pause.
Yeah, I know I'm putting this on the spot, but you know what I'm saying? You know, kind of talk about our Left Foot Forward, what you do and why it's so important.
Okay, so Left Foot Forward, the name of the organization is taken from a belief that our ancestors held, that you walk with your left foot forward to stomp out evil. And so the organization, the purpose of the organization is really to be boots on the ground and fighting against child sexual abuse in our communities, because 1 in 3 girls will be sexually abused by the time she's 18. 1 in 5 boys will be sexually abused by the time he's 18. But only 1 in 13 people are left-handed. So our children have a greater chance of being sexually abused than their natural chance of being born left-handed.
Wow.
And so this is a pandemic. It's not just confined here to these United States. It's a pandemic around the world, and it's something that we have to address because we sweep it under the rug. We have these people coming to our family reunions, and we know that something's not right with them, and we know the whispers that have been said, and it's just a secret that we tend to not address in our communities. And so that's the purpose of the organization, to help victims, rather survivors of child sexual abuse, by providing healing through the arts and access to counseling and whatever else that they need. And then we also provide preventive services by going out and teaching our children, teaching our parents how to prevent this from happening from them, because we have to stop the cycle as well. So
Gotta stop the cycle.
Got to.
And it's interesting you hear promoting it, because a lot of our people have a difficult time finding assistance and help. And all the time we have it right in our community. All we have to do is just listen and read and look up. I mean, it takes a lot of effort for us because we're in a capitalist system that's designed the way it's designed. But all of you out there listening in Radio Land, if you know somebody, if somebody in your family, just reach out to Left Foot Forward. We all need someone to talk to. You know?
Yeah, we do. Appreciate y'all letting me plug that.
No doubt, that's what we do. I mean, hey, that's one of our sponsors. That's one of them, y'all. You mean, look at
day one.
Important, things that this sister is doing, and that's why we always encourage all of us to, support black businesses, support those individuals who are supporting us, because we have to be actively involved in our own liberation. We can't wait. A lot of, I hear a lot of talk. We just heard a lot of talk about which oppressor is the better. I won't Satan's my man. Oh, the devil's my guy. You know what I'm saying? Trump or Biden. You know what I'm saying? Which slave master is gonna, give you the least whipping, or whatever you want to call it. But so we can't wait for some benevolent white man to come out of the sky and try to save us. We have to be actively involved in our own salvation. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's so important to support organizations like our Left Foot Forward and others, who are actively doing things in the community to bring about our liberation and the betterment of the condition of our people. So, big ups to Joshua.
Ashe.
And our Left Foot Forward. That's right.
No doubt.
That's right. Wow, man. We had so many events going on in the past week, and we have the elections going on this weekend. How do you want to carry this?
Well, we probably need to carry it with how we started the show off with, we just about.
For the New African Spotlight, this is where we shine the spotlight on a person, organization, or event that played a significant role in the struggle for New African liberation. The New African Spotlight.
And today on the New African Spotlight, we gonna talk about, hold on, let me get a drum roll, please. Another unarmed black black man murdered by the hands of the police. You know, this is just like a broken record. We're saying it again and again and again, week after week after week after week. And like I always say, this is just one of them. You know, every day, every Sunday, I wake up and I'm like, what am I going to talk about for the New African Spotlight? Because there are like tons of stories for me to pick on. Well, this one just recently happened last Tuesday in a place called Waukegan, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago. Well, a 19-year-old Marcellus Stennis was murdered by the police. Actually, him and his girlfriend was shot in their car by police officers. Now, according to the police, there was one police officer who was investigating an occupied vehicle when the vehicle drove off. They say fled the scene. That's according to the police. Another officer spotted the car, rolled up on the car, and according to this officer, the car was thrown into reverse and the police opened fire, hitting both of them. The young man, Maurice, this 19-year-old teenager, later died. His girlfriend was in serious condition, but she will live. This past Friday, police officers, the chief in this particular community announced that the officer who was involved in the shooting was fired for procedure misconduct violations. He did not specify which particular violation, occurred, nor did he identify the cop. But as it stands now, you basically have what the police said, because witnesses on the scene, they have quite a different story. They said that,
of course,
the young lady and the brother did not throw, themselves in reverse or going toward the cop. They said that the police rolled up to them and started shooting at them. Now, in many cases, if you don't have the actual video, then it's a case of your word against their word, and they always take their word. In most of the cases, when you do have a video, we almost always find out that the police are lying. You know what I'm saying? Like the case of John Crawford. They said that John Crawford was in Walmart pointing the gun at people, the toy gun at people, and they had people who were afraid and stuff like that. But when you look at the video, he was up there looking at a product. And had the gun in his hand. But we find that case after case after case after case. So, it's in the early stages. We don't know, exactly what's going to happen. But if history is any kind of criteria for, what we can expect, I don't have many high hopes because, we just recently found out more information about the Breonna Taylor case. Jurors are speaking out and said that they were not even given the option of homicide. That means that there was never a chance that these brothers, I didn't mean to say brother, but these police officers were going to get convicted, or not even convicted, but just brought up on charges for murder to go to trial. They didn't even give them that option. So, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the spotlight today because we got a lot to get to, but it's just, like I said, it's like a broken record. When is enough going to be enough? When are we going to say, okay, time out, it's time for us to go into a new direction, a different direction. It's time for us to take another path. In order to get something you've never gotten, you have to do something you've never done. So we got to do something else, brothers and sisters, and for that reason, we want to shine the spotlight on, again, another black man, black teenager, young brother who haven't even started his life yet. Marcellus Stennis, murdered by the police at 19 years old. Free the man.
Yeah, rest in freedom to the ancestor. And you know what? Like, it's interesting that you said that about Breonna Taylor, because, like, we also have to, as a people, we have to start looking at things from out of the box. And so, when we hear, and we also have to look at how things are connected, because everything is connected and everything is political, as the great Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey said. So, when you think about the Breonna Taylor situation and the jurors coming out and saying we weren't given these options, and then also what came out in the news this week was that the judge removed the the charge of third-degree murder from the police officer, that killed. His name is escaping me. What's our brother was kneeled on the neck? George Floyd,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So everyone is looking at that as a victory, but me looking at it outside of the box, I'm like, why did they do that? They did that because all of this information is coming out about the Breonna Taylor case. So they're trying to prepare by saying, hey, well, look at what we're doing. We're going to remove so that this is the least of the charges. So we're going to remove that so that he will get, if he is found guilty, he will be found guilty on one of the serious charges that carries jail time. Or the flip side to look at that is that puts the jurors in a position to not find him guilty at all because that lesser charge is not there. But either way, it's a position. They are positioning themselves in order to appear to be justified. Well, we're removing this third, this charge because of Breonna Taylor case. So if he is acquitted, then we can't say anything because we did all that we could. And then we just have to watch as a people how things are moving and grooving, because what appears to be wins for us are not necessarily wins.
Exactly.
And we have to look at that more objectively and more out of the box and realize that we have to take things up to a higher level. It's not about the individual battles that we appear to win. It's the overall war that we're losing.
I am so glad you said that, because that is so on point. Because one thing that I've noticed is America, the American miseducation system, has done such an excellent job of dumbing down the masses of people, even people who we claim to be smart, and it's a lot of people who say we conscious and stuff like that. Because I see, so-called conscious people spreading stupid stuff every day, just with a fundamental inability to critically analyze objective reality. You know what I'm saying? So, it is so crucial that we analyze information and we don't get wrapped into emotionalism.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we look at something like, oh yeah, we're going to, just like the election and stuff like that. People are getting so wrapped into, oh, we got to get rid of Trump, you know what I'm saying? So we can get this Biden and all this kind of stuff. And we're like, okay, we have to understand that is, regardless to who wins the election, regardless who wins the election, that's not the key to our liberation. Right. The key to our liberation is us. It's what we do. It's what we decide to get on the ground and start working actively into producing the change that we want, that we need. It is us trying to gain control of the resources, the institutions, the systems that govern our lives that's going to actually make a true difference in our liberation. So, I appreciate your words so very much, because we, like you said, we have to think things critically, you know what I'm saying, and not emotionally, not just get wrapped up. Because I was looking at a special that was dealing with the way people think and the way people process information, and it's just clear that our minds are easily hacked. Because all anybody has to do is they have to trigger your bias. If they can trigger your bias, then whatever they connect with that, you're going to automatically accept. There's a science behind this. In order to combat that, is you have to slow down, regardless to what the information is, what they have before it. You know what I'm saying? If you're a Christian and somebody says, yeah, and Jesus said this, and then blah, 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 you don't just accept the blah, blah, blah. You say, okay, what is the blah, 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 blah actually saying? You know what I'm saying? Let me analyze this. If I don't know what this is, let me actually objectively research this. Don't take the word of what somebody else is saying. Don't take the perspective of someone else's, and objectively analyze it. And then once you do that, then you can sit back and you can look at things, and you'll find out a whole lot of things that you just missed because you wasn't receptive to it. But I don't want to get off the subject, because
I think we got someone on the phone. Who do we have on the phone here?
Frida Land, this is Mama Ayo.
Frida Land, Mama Ayo.
Frida Land, Mama Ayo.
Before we get to you, Mama Ayo, before you get to you, let's set it up properly. Today we have something very special going on.
This whole weekend.
We have something very special go on. It is the weekend of the election, the one that I care about.
Right.
The election of the provisional government of the Republic of New Africa.
Right.
And that's why we have a special guest on the line today. So now I'm going to turn it over to Mama Ayo. How you doing, Frida Land?
I'm Oswald, Frida Land, comrade. Yes, we are having a historic event because every 3 years we do have elections. and we are having elections this weekend, the 23rd, 24th, 25th. Those write-in votes and mail-in ballots have been extended up until Wednesday. However, it is important because it is now time for citizens, and that's anybody who is of African descent, 16 years and older, to vote for a new administration, a new vision of where we're going with our government. So I am calling in to encourage everyone to come down to Smooth Living today to cast your votes from 12 to 4 p.m. We are asking for your mandate. We are running for myself and Samaat and Akin Bakele. We are running for local representation on the People's Center Council. And Akin Bakele is running for circuit court judge. And I do need your listeners to understand, we're not asking you to vote against the U.S. government. We're asking you to vote for the black nation, which was formed in 1968. We have a constitution, we have codes of behavior, we have ministries, and everyone, as I said before, is a citizen, and you are entitled to vote, even our brothers and sisters behind the wall. So if there are any questions, I'm certainly willing to answer anything and everything right now.
So, Mama Ayo, I know you'll be there at Smooth Living, 1263 Winchester Road, until 4 p.m. today, but you mentioned that the ones that are listening to us, that we have the option, if we're unable to make it there today, to mail in our ballot, and that's been extended until Wednesday. So how can you tell our listening audience, how do they get a ballot, and how do they mail it in, where to mail it in to, all of that pertinent information?
Yes, you will be sending an email to the following email address, and that would be Alvin, which of course is A as in Africa, L as in liberation, V as in victory, I as integrity, N as in nation, dot, not a dash, dot, A as in Africa, B as in boy, A as in Africa, N as in nation, T as in Tom, U as Emoja, at gmail.com. You will write and say you would love to vote in the national and local elections, and you are requesting a ballot. When you receive your ballot, you print it off, fill in the information, and mail it back. And you will be given the address once you send the email to mail it back to. And you have until midnight Wednesday to mail your ballot in.
Ashe, and for those of you also listening, if you go down to Smooth Living, I was there yesterday, and I was there the day before yesterday as well, so Friday and Saturday, and the process is literally as easy as 1, 2, 3. You go in, you sign the list, you complete your voter registration card, and then you make your vote. And the process literally is less than 5 minutes. So come out, spend 5 minutes voting for something that we want to establish for ourselves, and most importantly our children, for the rest of their lives and our lives. It only takes 5 minutes to vote and make this change for our black nation. Not much time at all.
Yes, and we want all African people of African descent. You're not voting. If you can choose to vote in the U.S. elections, we have no problem with that, but we're asking for you to vote in the black nation. We're asking you to understand that we are demanding reparations, our own nation, our own economic system, our own ID, and we have the right to do that because we have had, as African people, human rights abuses since the time we were brought. Since the time they took us in 1432 from the continent of Africa. And we have been here for over 400 years. We have suffered all indignities, all humanity, any inhumanity to man against man. We have had to bear that. And at the same time, we have built the country. We have made everyone rich in this country. We have contributed through inventions, our very lives, because they experimented on us. They have sterilized us. And we have the right to call for justice and to demand our own nation. So I want to yield on that and encourage everybody, come on out and cast your vote. Be a part.
Right, and these rights that Mama Ayo spoke of is for anyone that is of African descent that is 16 years of age. I've had people that came up to me at the poll yesterday that asked, well, I'm a felon. That doesn't matter. If you're a felon, if you've been to jail, or if you are in jail, it does not matter. We want your vote. And if you're 16 years of age and of African descent, then you are a go. So either go down to Smooth Living or email the address that Mama Ayo shared and get your ballot sent to you and fill it out and mail it in. Either way, either process will take you less than 5 minutes.
So I think with that, we're going to take a short break. Mama Ayo, are you going to stay with us till after the break?
Yes, I'll be listening.
Okay, all right. Well, so we're going to take a short break, and we will be back right after this at the Voices of New Africa, where we educate the uneducated.
Your Black Nation, the provisional government of the Republic of New Africa, is holding national and local elections on October 23rd through the 26th, 2020.
All Black people who are the descendants of enslaved Africans are eligible to vote, ages 16 and older. Yes, even those of us who are incarcerated. Now, there are 3 ways in which you can vote during those dates. You can go to your local polling station in your city. You can request a ballot through the Postal Service, or you can request a ballot via email to be sent in.
We need to all be actively involved in building our own Black government for us, by us.
We have the human right to land, independence, and reparations.
For more information, visit our Facebook page, Republic of New Africa.
Free the land. Our motto is land, independence, and reparations. Because you and I, the diaspora, and Africa is old. Why are we old? Why are we old? Because they took everything. Our skills, our religion, our marriage, our children, the way we pray, the way we honor our children, the way we honor our dead, and they imprinted, they raped, they pillaged, they sodomized, and they changed an African person into who they think that we are supposed to be. So that's why we call ourselves New Africans, because we are trying to instill the love, the determination to build a nation. Do you know what that looks like, family? To take everything that you are, everything that you went to school for, and put it to the service of the race? What does that look like? Well, close your eyes and pretend that you're coming up out of slavery. And just like Baba said, within 20 years, we had our own towns. Black Oklahoma had airports, libraries, hospitals. We had everything. What does that look like? What does that sound like? So we have a code of emotion, which is the Constitution. We have a code of behavior, which is called the Creed. We believe in the laws of Ma'at. We believe in the Nguzo Saba. If you and I want to be independent, separate, and build your own land, have your own doctors that practice tradition, what we call homeopathic medicine, live in harmony with the earth, are not putting poisons, learn to live with wind, air, solar, thermal energy, have a new design of houses, you need to help us free the land. I love you, brothers and sisters. Thank you. I am Mama Ayo, host of Rhythm of Life Wellness Ministry. I'm a health practitioner, Yoni Steam practitioner, 3rd degree Reiki master. and you are listening to the Voices of New Africa.
Yes. We're back. You're listening to the Voices of New Africa. It's 8 after the hour, 8 after 12. You're listening to AM 1600, West Lakeland, Memphis, 7:30 a.m., West Memphis, Arkansas, and 93.3 FM out of Millington, Tennessee. Man, so now we're back, and you know the New African Spotlight focused on another unarmed individual getting killed, another unarmed black person. Well, two, a male and a female in this case.
One died, one was in critical condition.
One was in critical condition. And you know, in our history here of all the maltreatment of our people over the years, one of the things that I was listening to a gentleman, professor. He's a professor at, I think he's at NYU, called Richard Williams. I don't know if you guys heard of him. Well, he was talking about traditions and how traditions are developed in communities. One of the things that traditions feed off of is making things the normality. So after a period of years of going through a certain thing, it becomes automatically normal, and it becomes a belief, a part of the belief system, which is incorporated into the tradition of the people. And if we don't watch it, we're going to find that it's going to become normal for our unarmed men and women to be murdered by cops, and it'll become a tradition. And what happens when things become a tradition, you don't do anything about it, you just accept it.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because I think it already has become a tradition. The only difference now is people see it. You know, you have camera phones and you have everything on film everywhere, so people see it, so people are outraged. But I think for the longest, ever since black people have been under this system of capitalism, evolving from the slave system, there's been a history of murdering black people. There's been a tradition of murdering black people.
Right.
And there is a long tradition and a long history of nothing being done about it. You know, they used to lynch black men and women and children, take pictures of it, send these pictures through the mail, use them as postcards. And in these pictures, they would be posing by them. You know what I'm saying? That's how bold it was. They was murdering people and posing, taking pictures of it. You know, like, I don't care. I know nothing's going to happen. So I think that behavior has already been normalized. What's not normal is people actually having the opportunity to see it. You know what I'm saying? And I understand what you're saying. You know, I think the danger is us seeing it becoming normal. You know what I'm saying? Because the behavior is always actually, you know, is obviously already normal because they do it so easily. You know, when I first saw the George Zimmerman case, and I just was like, whoa, he just did that just, you know, he was on, you know, a 911 call. Police told him not to do it. He did it, and it was just so obvious that, you know, and they just let him, you know, do it. I was like, okay, this is something that has been going on for a long time because that was way too casual. Mm-hmm. All these instances, Ahmaud Arbery, you know, they filmed them murdering this brother. You know what I'm saying?
One of the assailants.
Yeah, and the police, you know, saw the videotape and all of that, and they're like, okay, here's your gun. I'll see you. That's way too casual for this type of thing to not have been going on for a very, very, very long time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, like you said, and I'm in agreement with you. The act itself has pretty much already been going on a long time. And we could possibly say it is a tradition that we go through this stuff with these cops all the time. But I guess the right word I want to use is that what controls behavior is the consequences. And at some point, we're going to have to take back the control of that situation by being the ones that implement implement or apply the consequences behind killing our unarmed black men and women and children, for that matter, because we had the young guy in the park. I can't remember.
Tamir Rice.
Yeah, the
playing with a toy gun.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, that case gets a lot of attention because it was on film. But right here in Arkansas, Dante Farrow was a young child. He might have been younger than 12. Same situation. Police, murdered him, and it was outrage on a local level from people who knew about it. But because there was no videotape of it, so hey.
It was swept up on the road.
Swept up on the road like they always do.
Yeah. Wow. It's time for us to do something. And
I think one thing, is important because everybody is so excited about this election. When they talking about Biden and Trump. And I'm, don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying don't vote or anything like that. I'm saying that same energy.
I'm saying don't vote.
I mean, but what I'm saying is all of that energy that you have for voting, trying to get Trump out of office or whatever it is, can we use some of that energy? If we just used a fraction of that energy to advocate and to work within our community, our own communities, to try to change the things that we need changed. If we put boots on the ground, using that same energy, that same enthusiasm, that same resources, because we donate a whole lot of money, a whole lot of time and other resources in trying to select our next oppressor. Can we use some of that to actually actively work in our own liberation? You would be shocked at the change you would see. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing about it is, it frustrates me so much when people argue about which one's worse, Trump or Biden. The reality is, all y'all right. All y'all right. Trump is terrible. Biden is terrible. Both are. So, you know what I'm saying? Case closed. So what you gonna do now? So, I'm just saying, if you put that time in to vote, at least put that same time and effort to work toward your liberation. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, you all still have your two callers. Well, you got another caller that don't join in the conversation as well. If you all want to go to the phone lines.
Yeah, go to the phone line. Go ahead, caller. Hello, caller.
Who's the second caller on the line?
Free the land, Farmer Art. Can you hear me?
Free the land, free the land.
Mama, are you still there?
Hold on, she's on her other line.
It's cool. We need to talk to you. We need to talk to you right now. So.
We do want to talk to you, Star. So that was, I think, what Brother Prophecy said was a perfect segue into some light that you can probably shed onto voting. As far as putting our energy into voting and doing what needs to be done for our own independent sovereign nation. So, I'm not sure if you heard what Mama Ayo said about the elections, but I know that y'all are so in tune that you probably already know what she said, even if you didn't hear it. But give us some thoughts, sis, about all of this.
Well, I have heard you guys talk about, I guess the last 10 minutes I've heard. I have not heard Mama Ayo yet. I know she has shed light on the fact that we have our own black nation, the provisional government of the Republic of New Africa, that people can put their energy into for liberating our own and doing for self. So our elections, I don't know if she gave all the election information, yet people, if you're here in Memphis, you can still come and vote for president, for vice president, and for local representatives here in Ida B. Wells, Memphis, within the provisional government of the Republic of New Africa today from 12 to 4 at 1263 Winchester, Smooth Living. So, and if you're 16 or older and you are of African descent, you can come and vote. Come vote for your own nation.
That's true.
I don't know.
And we're not talking about no white people that was born in South Africa, talking about they African American.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Hold on. Well, I want to make sure that everybody understands exactly who's on the line. You know,
that's what I was about to get into.
Not only this sister is an expert in a multitude of things.
Yes.
And not only she's also a candidate. She's running for election. What are you running for?
I'm actually running for president of the Republic of New Africa.
That's right. So tell the listening audience, you know, as president of our black nation, you know, what is it that you want to accomplish during your presidency?
The main thing I really want to accomplish during my presidency is to make sure that unit work study and training is put back into place. Because if we say we want to become New African, that's a process. If you want to say you're a conscious New African, that's a process, because this particular government is not set up like the U.S. government. This is a government rooted in communalism and is rooted in scientific socialism. So the capitalistic mindset and all the different things that we have taken on living in this particular country of the United States of America, we have to shed coming into the Republic of New Africa, because we're not building the same thing.
Right.
So you can't be a black capitalist coming into the Republic of New Africa and thinking that you're not going to create the same type of system that we're trying to escape. So it's a process. So you got to go through, if you say you want to become a conscious New African citizen, you have to, it's a must that you go through study, work, and training in a unit. And that's really the basis of our format in terms of how our government is set up. It's very holistic. I would say being the president, that's that is probably the lowest position you could have in the government, honestly, because the New African people are the highest power in the government. So being a New African conscious citizen is the highest position you could possibly have. Why? Because conscious citizens are the ones that implement the plan.
That's right. That's right.
That's the most important thing.
I was going to say that I sometimes look at our relationship as African people with the economic system of capitalism as a domestic violence, a domestic, we're being domestically battered. Because, you know, the psychological trauma from someone being in an abusive relationship is sometimes, you know, they know that the relationship isn't good for them, it's kicking their behind, but they are absolutely still in love and cannot let go of the person that is oppressing them. And so that is our relationship with capitalism. Like, for the most of us, we're not petty bourgeoisie. We're definitely not bourgeoisie. We're not the ones that have all of the money. And so with the economic system of capitalism being exploitation of man by man, us, the working class, the primary ones impacted by capitalism, are the ones who can't let it go. And when we hear about, not only can we not let it go, but we strive to be the black capitalist that Saab mentioned, so that we can be in that position of power to abuse our fellow man. And then we also, because of the effect of propaganda that has been launched against socialism, you know, we think that socialism is bad.
Yeah, we think that.
We think that it's bad, and we think that, you know, it's treason against, you know, so Sal, you talked about the Republic of New Africa and scientific socialism being one of the tenets of that. Can you explain to our listening audience, you know, just, you know, briefly, just let them know, why is socialism, why is that the economic system that we are basing our black nation on? What benefit does that have to us as New Africans to have such an economic system of that fashion?
Well, first of all, socialism takes away class. So there is no big I's and little E's within a socialist system. So within the provisional government of the Republic of New Africa, once everything is set up and our economic system is put into place, there will not be folks that are homeless, hungry, without employment, without all of those issues are thrown out the window.
Right.
Within a socialist, your basic needs in the socialist system is taken care of.
That's right.
And so that's the main thing. And then anything after that is an add-on. It's a plus.
That's right. And so while everyone is out trying to figure out who they're going to vote for, Biden or Trump, just ask, is either one of those candidates going to eliminate any of those scars that we see just, on people in general, all over the United States, our homeless brothers and sisters that we see on the corner, almost every corner that we go down. The fact that there are some people that have to make a choice between, am I going to pay this light bill or am I going to feed my children? Those are the things that will go away, the breaking our backs and working for someone, and we get just a small amount while we're making them millions upon millions and billions of dollars. And we only get a fraction of that after we work so hard. So, I understand your Biden and Trump ideology here, but we have someone on the line that is representing a nation, our black nation, and who wants to be president of that black nation that will make all of that, your basic needs will be met, because, that's your human right to have those basic needs met. So y'all listen to the sounds of our voices and go out and vote for this black nation, because we have the power to materialize it. The power's in our hands.
No doubt. So, time is running out.
This has been a great show.
Yeah, it's been zooming by, and we do have a Kakai coming. Oh, you don't want to do it today?
Nah, man.
Okay. I you know what I'm saying?
No, this is an interesting show, and I think we shouldn't take anything away from it, because I can talk to the white man.
You talk to him anytime. You talk to the black man today.
Yeah,
man with a child.
That's right. And we voting today is from 12 to 4 at 1263 Winchester Road. Come out and vote. If you want to vote for the United Snakes of America candidates, vote for your liberation and go down and vote for the provisional. Now remember, and that's something that we should tell the rest of the audience. Every nation that comes into existence has to go through a process. And one of the main processes is that they have a provisional government.
Right.
Our people have a provisional government of the Republic of New Africa. And vote for the candidates today. Go down to Smooth Living at 1263 Winchester Road.
What end of Winchester that's on? Is it on the east
Winchester
end?
Winchester and Bellevue. Yeah.
Over there.
Okay.
In the white Black Haven area.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Winchester long road, so they some people are like, what end of Winchester? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's right. Winchester and Elvis Presley. Yeah, that was a good point there.
Big ups to Clemente for opening up his.
Yes.
Yeah, after you vote, support a black-owned business.
No doubt. Hey, they got good food, healthy food, smoothies
are ridiculous.
Hey, yo,
I ain't put the number.
Quick announcement too. My son Kwame actually just started working there.
Oh,
yeah, no doubt.
Come through. Let me get there and ask Kwame. I need to speak to Kwame right quick. I got a special order.
Wow.
Oh, so you go there and your food messed up. Hey, Kwame, what's up with that, man? No, I'm just playing. They have delicious food.
Yes, it's amazing.
Wow, and you know what? It's always a pleasure to have the Queen here.
All kind of queens on the show today.
Yeah, we sure did. As a matter of fact, we need to. It's almost about that time to get some shout outs.
We got a couple more minutes. You know what I'm saying? We can converse for a little while.
That's the production manager.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm the production manager now. Okay, that's cool. But no, I mean, with these last couple of minutes, Sama, are you still on?
I am.
So, I guess we can use these couple of minutes before it's time for our POW shout out. To give you some closing words, anything you want to tell the people before you get out of here, because when we leave this show today, I think Kakai, I don't know is it sure or not.
No, I won't be down there today, so I'll let y'all hold it down.
So Kakai and myself will be down there at Smooth Living. So if you want to see two very cool brothers, you know what I'm saying, see the faces behind the voices,
right.
Come down there and see us, you know what I'm saying. But before we get out of here, Saad, you got any closing words?
I did want to take you back on what Joshua was talking about earlier in terms of this bad relationship that we have with the U.S. empire. It's the most, we see a lot of folks talking about bad relationships, abusive relationships, but this is the most abusive, narcissistic relationship that we could ever be in. And so it's crazy for us to even want. I'm talking about we want to be in this relationship, and it's crazy when because we feel like we don't have a choice. Yet now that you know that you have a choice, now that you know that based upon international human rights that you have this choice, make the right decision. You know, make the right decision to build for self, to join the provisional government of the Republic of New Africa, which is a nation amongst many that are fighting for independence. But we right here in your backyard. So make a different decision. We don't have to live the way that we've been living here in this particular system. We don't have to do that.
No doubt. And with that, we want to thank our sister, but also we got to close the show out. You know what I'm saying? Kakayi, how we like to close this show out?
It's time for the New African PO.
You got to start the show back over.
No, we gonna always
dedicated to the brothers and sisters trapped behind enemy line. For those of us locked down in the belly of the beast of the prison concentration camps in America. This one's for you, friends. Stay strong. Stay strong.
So, as always, we like to give a shout out to our POWs who've held it down for us and kept the struggle alive. Atiba.
Yeah, Atiba, Tank, Daima, Brother Kauma, Brother Jakarta, Brother Yawundi, Brother Arthur Buford, Brother T.I., Brother Ice, Brother Calvin, Brother Rico, Brother Lopez, Brother Ed, Brother Latif, Mamiya Abu Jamal, Brother Afrika, Brother Matula Shakur.
You got a colon.
Brother Shadeen, Brother Tank. Did we say Brother Tank? We need to say Brother Tank.
You did.
Queen Mother, for
all our elders out there doing the thing.
Queen Mother Biana Bello, Queen Mother Pam Africa, Queen Mother
Asada Shakur.
Yes, Asada Shakur.
To all the ancestors.
Queen Mother Winnie Mandela, rest in peace. Queen Mother Yaya Satawad, rest in peace. Queen Mother Moore, rest in peace. Queen Mother Busy Shabazz, rest in peace.
Hamisha Halifu Utumwa. Ashe. Sister Uhuru. Ashe.
Some of the elders,
Brother Fadali.
I was about to say, Brother Fadali. Grandmaster Teacher.
Fadali.
Still putting in work.
General Rashid, Baba Lukata.
The current president, President Rico.
Mama Kandi.
Yes.
All of our ancestors who gave their lives for the struggle, all of our elders who are still hanging in there, and all of our freedom fighters and all the brothers who are behind the prison walls, we want to say we love you. And as always, we end the show with our battle cry: free the land, free the land, free the land.
So right, we'll have to fight. We gon' fight, we gonna fight. We gon' fight, we'll have to fight. We gon' fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, free the land. I am my will. Go ahead and vote from 12 to 4 at Smooth Livings right there on Winchester and Elvis Presley. You'll be so glad that you did. Just have your ID going out there, 16 and older. Go and make your voice heard. Vote for my boy Akin. Yeah.